Good morning, YouTuber Cooper followers. If you're watching this video, just put any comment or something in the bottom, because I'm not going to advertise this as I usually do on the other socials, because it's an unusual one. I've got a day off, and I don't really have a day off. I've got no work, no kids here today, no girlfriend. I'm on my own. So I'm just going to go out and wander around Looe, and hopefully the sun was shining about 10 minutes ago. I'm just going to sit on the beach for a couple of hours and do nothing. And it's really weird. Now, dyslexia, I'm going to start think what's dyslexia got to do about this? As a dyslexic person, not only do I struggle with reading and writing and stuff like that, I need plan. I need to know what I'm doing. And I say to my kids all the time, I don't care what you do, as long as I know what you're doing, so I can plan ahead. So not having a plan, I'm really out of my comfort zone today. And it's quite spooky. So I need something to do, because I can't sit down. I think that's my mild ADHD in as well. So I'm just going to wander around Looe. And I'm going to sit on the beach, and I'm going to do nothing. Well, I can't not do nothing, because that's just not me. Let's see where this journey takes us. Thanks for watching. I've got my 700s, which I've noticed as well this morning. When I've got a day off, I get my good earphones out, and I'm just going to listen to my music. I'm going to listen to the Chemical Brothers all day, well, all morning anyway, and block the world out and just listen to my favourite band while I'm wandering round where I live. Come and follow me and have a look. This is the bottom of my road. The train station's right in front. And over in the distance is Kiln North Woods, which is now, believe it or not, starting to go little shoots of green. Now we're nearly in April. That's the Globe. The Globe behind me is a really important pub to me. I've been going in there for about the last sort of 20 years. Not as a local. It's only about 100 metres from my door. I've had lots of good times in there. Lots of not so nice good times in there. I had my 40th birthday, my 50th birthday. My girl's first ever trip out of the house was in there. We have a lot of our swim meetings, run meetings. I've had loads and loads of good times in there. It's my favourite pub in the world. So you can see the old Coast Guard station up there. I used to live in that one there with the white door, with the white door frame. There's lots of work being done on those at the moment to bring those back into use, because they were not used for years. And I want to say a big thank you to Nick Anger, one of my mates from uni, who I know granted the funding for those. So well done, mate. This is the fruits of your good work here, look. I remember there used to be 20p. There's Nick Pope's boat, the Sandpiper. That means summer's on its way. Looe Lifeboat Station. I was on the crew here for about 13, 14 years. And had to leave for various reasons, some unfortunately ethical reasons, things I didn't agree with, but also getting a bit older. Yeah, spent a lot of time in and out on the boats and those. And here I am on the beach. I've just seen loads of people walking around town with coats on, hats and all that sort of stuff, gloves. But I'm going to let you into a little secret, okay? If you look above the... You see that windsock up there? If you look at the windsock and it's blowing out towards the sea, if you can get a spot near this wall, there's no wind. And you still get the sun in front of you, and it's really warm. So I'm going to stay here now for a while in the warm. This is the Banjo Pier, and I'm going to give you some more useless information that could save your life. Now, we swim here a hell of a lot. You see this big pile of rocks here. Well, there's two big rocks that stick up that have saved my bacon a couple of times when you need to put your feet down for whatever reason. Now, you see up there, you've got the stanchions that go up, up. If you line the first two up in the water, you'll always be next to this one here. Okay, and you can see the distance of it, it's about maybe 15-20 metres. There's another one on there as well. So if you go around to this one, and you're swimming in, you can see the two stanchions. So it's the one, two, the third one up. If you line the front one up with the back one up, you go forward, you're on this one here. And that is about 5 or 6 foot difference between the top of there and the seabed at some time. So it's really useful to know if you're interested in that sort of thing. At low tide you can actually walk round the Banjo. You can either walk down here or come down these steps. Come with me and I'll show you. This is what Looe Beach looks like on the last day in March 2026. And the last day in July or August 2026, there'll be 1 million people on here. Which is great to see. My only moan at the tourists, not only just for taking all the milk and the bread out of the shops, but they do leave a hell of a lot of litter on the beach, which is really sad. There's lots of bins around. But yeah, lots of plastics, bags. Believe it or not, people just bury nappies. If you're watching this, please take your rubbish home or put it in the bin. Thank you very much. If you've not already done so, can you please follow Paul Dunstan on YouTube. He's just started a channel up, lovely bloke, and the lad since Brick Lane College when we were teenagers. Yes, give him a look up, Paul Dunstan. All the best, mate. Hope you're watching. I'm sure you are. We're at the low tide pier. This is called Conger Pool. Usually we swim up there, looking down on it, but today we're standing in it. This here, again low tide. When it's high tide, you can jump off it. This is called Tom Barber's Rock. Up to about 10 years ago, there used to be a ladder going up here, but they've taken it off. More health and safety restrictions. So now instead of the ladder, you climb up the rock face. Tom Barber was the first boy to dive off it, apparently. And he wasn't a local lad. When the tide's really high, it's really nice to snorkel between this rock gully here. It's usually really flat below. And sometimes the current swooshes you up and down, which is really nice. I might climb up Tom Barber's Rock just to show you up there. I've not got any shoes on, so this might hurt, but I'm going to give it a go just for you watchers. Right, I'm halfway up the rock. Another useless fact for you, there's some bricks here. See those bricks? They used to hold the ladder. But if the tide is close to or about here on the bricks, the water is deep enough to jump off. If it's down here, please don't, because it's only about 5 foot deep. But if you're up here, you've got about 7 or 8 feet of water. This is the top of Tom Barber's. It's very unusual because I usually jump off it. I've got to climb back down. But you stand on here at high tide and stand on that bit there at the lower tide. I'm going to give you a little bit of information about the gig shed there. About 20 years ago, Looe rowing club was really small. There wasn't even enough people to fill the boat. So we were very kindly gifted that piece of land up there by East Looe Town Trust. And I had the privilege of designing that gig shed. As you can see from there, hopefully it still blends in, because one of the original concepts for it needed to be hidden away in full view. So I sat up here quite a lot thinking what it would look like, and I wanted it to blend in with the wall behind it. That's why the stone's built the way it is. I'll tell you a little bit more about it when I'm up there, but I spend a lot of time wanting this to look timeless. And 20 years later, well, I think it was about 17, 18 years ago it was completed, but it took me 3 years to get it through planning. So I'll tell you a bit more about that in a minute. Hope you appreciated that video from up there, because that really hurt my feet coming down on the barnacles with my bare feet. Anyway, back to the gig shed. So Looe Rowing Club about 20 years ago used to have the boats up in West Looe, up at Pullein Yard. There was 2 boats, and every time we went out for a row we had to carry the boats down, no wheels then, from the shed into the slipway at the top of the mill pool, which was not very good, not very easy, and we could only go out at high tide. So the plan was to build somewhere that we could launch the boats at all tides and grow the club. As I said before, that piece of land was very kindly gifted by the trust, and how I wanted it to be was to blend in with the surroundings, to be completely vernacular. The stone is identical to the stone behind it on the wall, but we couldn't find 70-year-old stone, or even afford it if we could. So the stone is the same, but it eventually should weather the same as the wall. The length of it was designed to fit 2 boats in, and also a fully accessible shower and toilet. I've not been in there for years, so I hope it's still there. And the roof was copied from all the roofs around it, from the cafe, the lifeboat station. There's all the same tiles, and the holes in the front were to let air in, and they were copied off a building called Hoazure that I was working on at the time in Plymouth. And that was not only just to break the front up a little bit and make it look not like a wall, but it was to allow air in. So I think there were 7 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them to let the air in. We did do an air filter calculation, but it was enough to let enough air change its power to hopefully keep the condensation low. Yes, so there's a little bit of history behind there. Myself, well, I designed it. Well, I told the architect to draw it how we wanted it. The conservation officer, a chap called Ian Moore, who was very helpful, from Cornwall Council, and also Ian Tamlin, who was the chair at the time. So Ian's stone is on the front of the shed, so you'll probably see that. So yeah, a little bit of history about the gig shed for anyone who's interested. Since then, the club has grown massively, world champions, and you can't get into a boat now for love nor money because there's so many people there, which is great to see. It makes me very happy every single day when I see people walking through town with Looe Gig Rowing Club uniform on, because from the original 15, 20 at the time of there's hundreds now, which is great. So well done, Looe Gig Club. Now, one thing really sad about this, although this is a great facility, there's no doubt about that, I managed to get planning permission for an extension to it that would have come out to there. And not only would it be extended, there would have been another story on the top of it with a clubhouse. And it didn't happen because of friggin' Brexit. So if you voted for Brexit, you voted for this. Obviously I'm getting on my soapbox here, but it's really annoying. We'll never get that planning permission back again. It took so long to get it. And I want to mention the Bailey Partnership because they're the ones that got it for us, and Cornwall Council, but that will no longer happen, which is a terrible shame. It would have fit 4 boats in, and Ergos would have been upstairs, and there would have been a clubhouse, very same as the lifeboat station. Real shame. As I mentioned before, that's the stone of the wall originally, and the stone of the wall which is there now. Eventually that should weather the same. We're now going into the back streets of Looe. There's some really interesting things around here if you had time and effort to wander around. I'll take some pictures, see what you think. There's a few videos. There's this place behind me here. That used to be the library. I've always loved this little place, I don't know why. I'd love to go up that ladder and go in that door. Don't know what's behind it. Where they used to make the beer. One thing that is very sad about these back streets is that hardly any of the buildings are occupied all the year round. They're either second homes or holiday homes. In the winter, there's just no one here. Just maybe a handful if you're lucky out of the hundreds. They're starting to come alive a little bit now with the tourist season, but it's just really sad that hundreds of local people could live here, but they just don't, because they can't. Again, all these are empty. If you've never tried a Cornish cruffin, you must go into here, Bowder's Bakeries. I'm going to give another one of my Looe secrets away here. I really don't want to do this, but I will for the regular watchers. Large pasty in Martin's Bakery. If you get one of yesterday's, they're half price. So it's £2.75 for a massive pasty. I think it tastes better the second day because they soak it better, in my opinion. But yeah, go see Nanny Lynn for one of these. Crab lines in the water, just left there for all sorts of seabirds to get tangled up with. We've done cleans before and got hundreds of the bloody things out. Yeah, environmental disaster in my opinion. Use recyclable ones, or when you finish with them, put them in here. Don't chuck them in the sea or leave them there. I'm back home now. That's been a lovely wander around for a couple of hours really. Hope you've enjoyed the video and seen some of the things of Looe that you might not have seen before or known before. One thing that struck me this morning is the demands on life. Now, it seems like in my life, demands are huge. You know, nice demands, such as from the kids, from partner, but also demands from work, from managers, from staff, from life in general. It's exhausting until you stop. I don't have time off. I really don't have time off. And it's only when you stop and sit on the beach and put your feet in the sand and look up at the sunshine. It's very alien, first of all. It's not comfortable, but it's necessary. So, yeah, I've enjoyed it so far. I've got to do stuff this afternoon, otherwise I need to do things. But I've really enjoyed it so far. It's only 1 o'clock, and I'm going to get some jobs done in the house this afternoon. So thanks for watching. Thanks to everybody who's watched this video, all of you. Really appreciate the support. Right, until next time, bonjour.